Okay, let's do something with these jeans. I love the way they fit, except those skinny ankle, dear Lord. Let's fix these. Using a seam ripper, you're going to take the hem out, and the easiest way to get it started is just on this right side to pick out a few of the stitches, and then you can go here on the inside and it goes a lot faster then. Be careful not to cut your denim because these things are sharp. Mine's named Jack. This is Jack the Ripper. So take the hem out on both sides. After you've got both hems out, then you want to take the side seams, both sides. If these weren't so narrow, I could probably get away with just taking the outside seam out, but these are so skinny that I'm going to take out both sides and we're going to add a triangle to both sides. So once you get it started, then you can just sort of rip the seam with your ripper right there. Be careful not to rip your jeans. And you want to take it out up to about the knee area. So after taking the outside seams out, I decided not to take the inside seams. I think we can get enough, we can add enough of a triangle in there that it will fill out nicely without having to do all four sides. Okay, now that I've got the side seam taken out, I'm going to get a measurement for the length, and I'm going to go about 1/2 inch above where I stopped ripping the seam so that I've got a little extra to sew it down up there. And then I'm going to measure to the bottom of the hem that I've taken out, which is 20 inches. So that's how tall we want it, how long we want it. And then the bottom, we're going to go 10 inches because I'm just measuring, I need a seam allowance. So roughly 10 inches. Now you need to make the pattern that you're going to cut your fabric by. I just use some craft paper. You can use a paper bag or parchment paper, wrapping paper, whatever. So the height was, or length was 20. So I did fold my paper in half so I had a center line to work with, and I'm gonna measure up and mark 20 inches on that center line. And then I'm gonna go from that center line to 5 inches on each side of this center line, all the way down to the bottom, slanting as I go. So I'm going to measure 5. So 5 inches out here will be here. 5 inches over here will be here. Because we want a triangle all the way up to that point. So there, and then we're gonna swing it over here. Make sure we go out enough. Now we're gonna cut this out. And this is gonna be our pattern. Now that I have my pattern cut out, I'm going to lay it on the fabric that I'm going to use, and then I'm going to go outside of the pattern, and because I forgot to allow for seam allowance, I want a 1/2 inch on each side seam allowance. That's what I'm going to sew in when I sew it back into the jeans. So we're going to allow for that. And then we'll be ready to cut. So if the fabric you're using is cotton or even another pair of jeans, denim, chambray, anything like that, you can actually cut both triangles at one time. I'm using an old cutter quilt, so it's pretty thick. So I am only cutting one at a time, but cut your triangle out, following your lines to allow, so you could do it either way. You could measure the pattern and mark it 1/2 inch larger on each side, or you can measure after you lay the pattern down. So that's what mine looks like. So now I'm going to cut another one and then we'll be ready to sew. Now grab your pins and your 2 triangles, and you're going to turn your jeans inside out because you need to pin both right sides together. So this is the right side of my triangle. That is right side to right side of the jeans. So the wrong side is facing up at me. And then you want to just go along your edges where you took that seam out and get the edges even every few inches, and then pin. And we want to do that all the way up this side and down the other. Okay, everything is pinned. So now we're going to go to the machine to sew. Okay, being sure to keep the 2 edges of the fabrics even. Just slowly stitch all the way up one side, go across and then down the other. Okay, they're all finished. From skinny pistol leg jeans to bell bottoms with a quilt insert. I'll show you how I'll style it later. Okay, they're all done. From skinny ankle jeans to flare jeans.